Welcome to Krino Forensics, a student led initiative dedicated to turning suspicions into certainties. In today's case study, we dive deep into the chilling crimes of Chandrakant Jha, one of India's most brutal serial killers. A man who taunted the police with his gruesome acts and challenged the very limits of forensic investigation. Join us as we explore how forensic science plays a crucial role in unraveling the darkest minds. This slide introduces Chandrakant Jha, infamously known as the Butcher of Delhi, a convicted serial killer responsible for a series of brutal murders in India. His crimes involved horrific acts such as dismemberment and deceptive tactics that deeply shocked the nation. The investigation into Jha's actions revealed a dark and sinister psychological profile. Forensic experts and investigators played a crucial role in piecing together the evidence, following the bloody trail and uncovering the truth behind the gruesome scenes he left behind. The exposure of his chilling crimes ultimately earned him a notorious reputation in India's criminal history. The investigation into Chandrakant Jha's crimes began with dismembered body parts were found in drains across Delhi. Initially, the police faced difficulties in identifying either the victims or the perpetrator. To solve the case, forensic experts were brought in to examine crucial evidence such as fingerprints, DNA samples, and fiber traces. Investigators conducted door to door inquiries and spoke with the local residents for any leads. They also analyzed CCTV footage and phone records to track movements and identify patterns. A special task force was assembled to link the cases and study similarities between the murders. As they gathered more evidence and monitored potential suspects, a disturbing pattern emerged, eventually pointing towards Chandrakant Jha as the serial killer. This slide details the later part of the investigation into Chandrakant Jha's crimes, focusing on his arrest and the evidence that led to his conviction. After being taken into custody, Jha confessed to the murders, providing disturbing insights into his actions. Investigators corroborated his confessions through forensic analysis and eyewitness testimony. They uncovered psychological motivations behind his crimes, revealing deep rooted mental issues and a desire for dominance. Physical evidence such as weapons and clothing further linked him to the scenes. The investigative team meticulously reconstructed the crime scenes and timelines, and psychologists were involved to analyze his behavior. In court, the evidence proved decisive, leading to Jha's conviction. The overall success of the case was credited to the coordinated efforts of law enforcement, forensic specialists, and interagency cooperation. The modus operandi of Chandrakant Jha was characterized by meticulous planning and execution. He targeted vulnerable individuals, often those who were alone or in isolated areas. Jha would approach his victims with a friendly demeanor, gaining their trust before striking. He used a combination of manipulation and coercion to control his victims. Jha would often use a weapon such as a knife or a blunt object to overpower his victims. He would then dismember the bodies to conceal evidence and make identification difficult. Jha's crimes were marked by a high degree of brutality and violence. He showed no remorse for his actions and seemed to derive pleasure from the sufferings of others. Chandrakant Jha's trial began with the prosecution presenting compelling evidence of his horrific crimes. The court heard testimonies from forensic experts, eyewitnesses, and investigators. Jha's own confessions were also submitted as evidence. The prosecution maintained that Jha's actions were premeditated and driven by a desire for control. In contrast, the defense argued that Jha suffered from mental instability and was not fully accountable for his actions. However, the prosecution responded by asserting that his mental condition did not excuse his violent behavior. After evaluating all the evidence, the judge delivered a guilty verdict. Jha was found guilty of multiple counts of murder, dismemberment, and other serious offenses. Considering the gravity of his crimes, the court sentenced him to life imprisonment. The verdict provided a sense of justice and closure to the victim's family and brought relief to the community. The judgment discusses the case of Chandrakant Jha, who was found guilty of multiple crimes including murder, dismemberment, and other serious offenses. The court, after thoroughly reviewing the evidence, sentenced him to life imprisonment due to the extreme severity and brutality of his actions. The judgment emphasized that his crimes were premeditated and driven by a desire for control, dismissing the defense's claim that Jha was mentally unstable and not fully accountable. The court prioritized public safety and stressed the importance of imposing strict penalties on individuals who commit such heinous crimes, concluding that a life sentence was both appropriate and necessary. The continuation of the judgment emphasizes that the decision was firmly rooted in the evidence and relevant legal principles. It provided a sense of closure and justice to the victims' families and reassurance to the broader community. The court's ruling delivered a clear message that such brutal and inhuman crimes would not be tolerated and would face severe consequences. It underscored the critical importance of holding offenders accountable for their actions. The judgment was hailed as a victory for justice system, setting a strong precedent for handling similar future cases. Ultimately, it reflected the judiciary's capacity to uphold justice and deliver a sense of resolution to those affected by the crimes. The psychological aspects of Chandrakant Jha's case reveal that he came from a disadvantaged background in Bihar, marked by poverty and early struggles. Research suggests that many serial killers like Jha often have histories of abuse, neglect, or extreme poverty, which can lead to violent behavior and feelings of vengeance against society. Reports indicate that Jha suffered from conduct disorder, a condition often seen as a precursor to antisocial personality disorder, which is characterized by a lack of emotional regulation and empathy. He also exhibited traits common among serial killers, such as the inability to reintegrate into normal life after committing crimes and a strong desire for power and dominance. Jha used distorted cognitive reasoning to justify his murders, believing that his victims deserved their fate and that he was morally right in his actions. He further displayed his contempt for law enforcement by sending offensive messages and letters to the police, showing a belief in his superiority over legal authority. The forensic significance of the Chandrakant Jha case emphasizes the critical role of forensic science in solving complex criminal cases. Forensic experts were instrumental in collecting, analyzing, and interpreting evidence from various crime scenes. Techniques like DNA and fingerprint analysis were essential in linking Jha to multiple murders and confirming his identity as a perpetrator. Experts also reconstructed the crime scenes using physical evidence, strengthening the case against him. Proper collection and handling of evidence such as bloodstains, hair, fibers, and digital data like phone and computer records were key in tracking his movements and building a solid case. Forensic anthropology helped analyze skeletal remains, while psychological profiling provided insights into Jha's behavior, mental state, and motivations. Profilers studied his behavior patterns and communication methods to anticipate future crimes and understand his mindset, thus aiding both the investigation and the legal proceedings. The Chandrakant Jha case highlights the effectiveness of combining traditional investigative methods with a modern forensic tools. Investigators relied on surveillance footage, witness statements, and forensic evidence to build a compelling case. Forensic entomology played a crucial role by helping determine the time of death, and forensic experts also examined Jha's alibis and inconsistencies in his statements. The case has had a notable impact on the development of forensic science in India, emphasizing the need for continued investment in forensic research, training, and infrastructure to handle complex crimes more effectively. The conclusion regarding the Chandrakant Jha case, emphasizing its significance as one of the most heinous crime cases in Indian history. The judgment in the case is highlighted for bringing closure and relief to the victims' families and the wider community. Furthermore, the case underscored the crucial role of a strong justice system in ensuring the perpetrators are held accountable, allowing the community to begin the healing process after experiencing devastating crimes. Ultimately, the Chandrakant Jha case serves as a potent reminder of the importance of upholding the law and safeguarding society from harm. This case study was presented by Susan Petricia, volunteer at Krino Forensics. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more case studies and forensic insights.